Forget everything you know about saturated fat. Seriously, most of the stuff that is ingrained in our minds when it comes down to saturated fat is a product of old science or just misinformation. Truth be told, saturated fat is absolutely critical when it comes down to burning fat, and it's even more critical if you're on a low carb, high fat diet.
My fucking head hurts. Here we go again. Let's take it from the top. Everything we know about saturated fat is based on old science and misinformation. I am so glad Thomas DeLauer is here to dispel all this supposed misinformation. So let's start by looking in the description box of this video to see if we can find any type of legitimacy to what Thomas is stating here. And holy shit, would you looky here. Thomas actually did his homework and posted a few studies to back up his claims.
Coming up on It's a Miracle.
Thomas DeLauer tries to use science to confuse you that much more by pushing a bullshit dieting scheme that will ultimately lead you to getting you fat and sick. And if you ever bought something from Thomas DeLauer, don't worry. This is just natural selection doing its job and paying its contribution to society. It's a rough go out there, people. Just keep doing what you're doing and hope for the best, right? Fuck it. Back with more in a bit. And I was thinking of making this guy a professor of the month, but you know, I really don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think Thomas DeLauer deserves the honorable award of professor of the month? Does he deserve it? Let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. I'd really like your 2 cents on that one. But for now, let's just move along. So let's establish what we need to forget about saturated fat according to Thomas DeLauer. The typical health professional or doctors of today would probably promote eating less saturated fat because it raises serum cholesterol levels in people, in particularly LDL cholesterol, which promotes atherosclerosis, which leads to arterial diseases known as heart disease, strokes, and potentially many other diseases. So Thomas DeLauer is saying all this is misinformation, and I'm assuming he's got a bunch of evidence to show that saturated fat does not cause or promote any type of atherosclerotic diseases, because that is a very ballsy statement to say due to the amount of evidence that is currently available to show that saturated fat does promote or cause atherosclerotic diseases. And sure enough, none of the studies Thomas DeLauer linked in his video shows any type of proof or any type of evidence that saturated fat does not promote or cause arterial diseases like strokes or heart disease. The majority of the studies linked in the video are studies just showing physiological effects of saturates like palmitic acid and mitochondrial function when consuming certain types of saturated fats, yet none of these studies show anything about how saturated fat is healthy for the human body in regards to preventing atherosclerotic disease. He did, however, link one study in the description box of his video describing how different types of fats affect cholesterol in 58 subjects in a random study, and I got a real good chuckle out of it because the study touts how saturated fat, or when the participants were taking saturated fat, how it happened to lower their lipoprotein A blood markers in the subjects when compared to the other fats, but they failed to put any type of serious emphasis on how saturated fat actually raised LDL cholesterol levels more than any of the other fats, which is actually quite shocking because saturated fat raised LDL cholesterol levels more than trans fats. You know, trans fats, that one type of fat that everyone runs away from, the one that's made with margarine and all that other nasty shit. This is a study that Thomas DeLauer approves of, that he put in his description box. Fucking genius. I guess someone screwed the pooch on this one and didn't read all the details. And just to add a little extra seasoning to this, one study Thomas decided to reference, well, this study was funded or financially supported by the oil industry. Good job, Thomas. Every professor in the history of Bro Knowledge University is gleaming with gratification with this work of crap that is less valuable than the needle you use to stick in your ass to grow all that natural lean muscle you have. And finally, here is the golden nugget.
So first off, I want to break down the whole cholesterol thing. By eating saturated fat, you're not going to raise your cholesterol.
So eating saturated fat does not raise your cholesterol. Fuck. Here we go again. So then please explain how these 395 word experiments prove eating more saturated fats raises serum cholesterol levels. Oh wait, if there's any cholesterol people who want to deny this fact, I'll let you keep thinking about it. But for now, we'll just move forward. Thomas, please continue with your spewing of bullshit. Thank you.
Let me just paraphrase this real quick. Okay, 25% of the cholesterol that's in our bodies is received from our diet. 75% of the cholesterol that's floating around through our bodies is already created within our bodies.
Nope, that's just flat out wrong. A person's liver makes all the cholesterol it needs, and exogenous consumption of saturated fat raises serum cholesterol levels. This is why saturated fat is not an essential nutrient, or what Thomas claims to be a critical nutrient.
So the correlation between eating fatty foods or eating cholesterol or eating saturated fat and our overall cholesterol levels is relatively small.
Yes, the correlation is relatively small if you're already sick with high cholesterol levels. And you see, the majority of the population, at least in the Western world, is sick with high cholesterol. So eating saturated fat and dietary cholesterol is not going to worsen someone or heighten someone's cholesterol levels because they are already sick, unless they consume more saturated fat and dietary cholesterol than what they already are consuming. And here's the best part. The study that Thomas linked in his video shows this. So what the hell, Thomas? If saturated fat doesn't raise cholesterol levels, then why did the subjects in the study that Thomas linked in his video have their LDL cholesterol levels raised from 128 milligrams per deciliter to 140 milligrams per deciliter? I thought saturated fat doesn't raise cholesterol levels because, you know, it's so critical. Am I just going crazy? Or is Thomas just full of shit? And just for the record, these cholesterol levels are deemed normal by today's standards because everyone is sick with high cholesterol because they probably listen to the same propaganda bullshit that Thomas DeLauer is spewing from his fucking mouth, except just from a different talking head with an agenda to sell some type of snake oil product. And in this case, Thomas DeLauer is selling some keto bullshit. Go figure. And just for the record, again, healthy LDL cholesterol levels are between 50 and 70 milligrams per deciliter and are considered the optimal range for a person's health in regards to cholesterol levels. At least that's where atherosclerosis does not occur. You know what? I'm calling it right now. Thomas DeLauer is not a professor. He's lower than that. He's not even a dimwit. He's a scumbag of the industry who is lying to make profits for his keto nonsense bullshit. Thomas DeLauer's informational videos are as legit as this kid's lightsaber skills. Now, to the blind eye, this kid looks like a badass ready to fuck some shit up, and he probably could fuck some shit up, or he could probably just be some bored fat kid who's got an incredible imagination that likes to think he's a Jedi on his spare time. And you know, the same way we treat this dude here is the same way we should treat Thomas DeLauer. He's someone we should just watch and laugh at and not take seriously because, damn it, this is some dumb shit here. And that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. Please make sure or feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and ding dong button. You know how YouTube's got this shit all sorts of jacked up with their little algorithm. You guys know who I am. I'm the Natural Hoaxer. I want to thank you for watching. And please stay tuned for the next one.